There are two versions of the same person, same brain, same body, same 24 hours. One of them is asleep by 10 p.m., already knowing tomorrow's first move. The other is still awake at 1 a.m., promising himself tomorrow will be different. They've never met, but they're the same person. This is the story of what happens in between. The room is quiet. Blue-gray light through the blinds. A man opens his eyes before the alarm goes off. No panic, no reaching for his phone. He just lies there for a second like he already knows what today requires of him. He gets up, makes his bed without thinking about it, drinks water, opens the blinds. Same face. Different morning. Alarm blaring. A hand slams it. A groan. 5 more minutes. Phone already in hand before his eyes are fully open. These are the same person, same brain, same 24 hours. But somewhere between these two lives, discipline changed everything. A beat of silence. And here's the strange part. The hardest level isn't the one where you start. Level 0, controlled by yourself. Level 0, this is where most people live without knowing it. Alarm rings. He silences it without opening his eyes. 5 more minutes becomes 40. He finally sits up, grabs his phone off the nightstand, not to check the time, just to check. One notification turns into 15 minutes. 15 becomes 40. He's already late before his feet touch the floor. He rushes through the morning, skips breakfast, tells himself he'll start eating better next week. At his desk, he opens the document he's supposed to work on, stares at it, opens a new tab instead, one video, then another. The room gets darker outside the window, and he doesn't notice. He looks up. It's 6 p.m. The document is still blank. He's not lazy. He's not stupid. He's just not choosing anything anymore. Everything else is choosing for him. He tells himself, "I'll start tomorrow." He's said that sentence more times than he can count. Night. He scrolls in bed until his eyes physically won't stay open. He doesn't decide to sleep. He just loses the fight to stay awake. This isn't a person without goals. It's a person whose day is being lived by everything except him. Something has to break first. Not a personality, a pattern, and usually it breaks quietly. Level 1, awareness. He's sitting in the exact same spot, phone in hand, 15 minutes gone, when something shifts. He looks at the phone like he's never actually seen it before. He doesn't have a breakdown. He has a small, quiet thought that changes everything. I'm not actually choosing what I do anymore. That night, he writes something down. A plan. Wake up at 7. Work for 1 hour before checking his phone. The next morning, alarm rings. He gets up. He almost reaches for the phone out of pure habit. And stops. He makes it 40 minutes before he caves. Awareness doesn't fix anything by itself. It just makes the old pattern uncomfortable for the first time. He tries again the next day. Fails differently. Feels a flicker of disappointment he didn't used to feel, because now he knows he's choosing this. This is the level nobody talks about because it doesn't look like progress. It looks like failing on purpose over and over until failing starts to feel wrong. Eventually, the question changes. It stops being, "Why can't I change?" and becomes something smaller, something he can actually act on. Level 2, keeping small promises. He stops trying to overhaul his entire life overnight. Instead, he makes one promise. Phone goes in another room while he works. Alarm rings. He gets up, walks to his desk, puts his phone in the kitchen, out of reach on purpose. He works for 1 hour, just one. It's not impressive, nobody's watching. But he did what he said he'd do. This is the moment discipline stops being about motivation and starts being about trust. Not trust in the world, trust in himself. Small scene. He tells a friend he'll finish something by Friday. Friday comes. It's done. Nobody notices but him. If I say I'm going to do something, I actually do it. That sentence is worth more than any speech about willpower. He's not transformed. He still gets distracted, but the gap between what he says and what he does is shrinking. Enough small promises kept, and something strange happens. The behavior stops needing permission. It becomes who he is. Level 3, discipline becomes normal. Morning, alarm rings. He's up before it finishes. No internal negotiation. He gets ready, starts his first task without deciding to. Afternoon, a notification buzzes. He glances at it, and this is new. Puts the phone face down without a second thought. Boredom creeps in around hour 2 of deep work. He stays anyway. Evening. He finishes what he set out to do. goes for a run, or opens a book he's been meaning to read, not because he should, because this is just what his evenings look like now. Night. He glances at tomorrow's plan for 30 seconds, turns off the light at a reasonable hour. He's not a machine. He still has days where he's tired, unmotivated, distracted. The difference isn't that those days stopped happening. A scene. He skips a workout, scrolls too long, feels the old pull. The next morning, he's back at it like nothing happened. The difference is he comes back, every time, without making it a whole event. But identity has never been tested by an easy day. It's tested by a bad one. Level 4. Discipline under pressure. Everything goes wrong at once. Bad news lands, the kind that knocks the air out of a plan. His motivation, the thing he'd been quietly relying on without realizing it, disappears completely. He sits at his desk, stares at the same blank document from level 0. For a second, the old voice returns. "I'll start tomorrow." A friend texts inviting him out. An easy escape, a good excuse. The old version of him would have taken it. Not out of weakness, out of exhaustion. He looks at the invitation, looks at his desk, sets the phone down. He works anyway, not with enthusiasm, not because he feels like it. He works because stopping now would cost him something he's spent months building. This is where the truth shows up. Discipline was never proven on the easy days. It's proven on the day you have every reasonable excuse to quit. And level 5. Self-mastery. He wakes up before the alarm. No struggle. His life is built in a way that doesn't require one. He doesn't reach for his phone. He lies there for a second, already knowing what the day actually requires of him. He wakes up and asks a different question than he used to. Not what do I feel like doing, but what actually matters today. He works with real focus for a few hours, takes a deliberate break, not a collapse into distraction, a real rest. He exercises. He calls someone he cares about and means it. In the evening, he watches something for fun, enjoys it, turns it off when he said he would. He can say not now without feeling like he's missing out. That's not restriction, that's control. Mastery was never about doing more. It's about deciding in advance what deserves his attention, so he doesn't have to decide from scratch, exhausted every single time. Return to the man from level 0. Same room, same blank document, same phone in hand. He looks up and sees, just for a moment, the version of himself from level 5 walk past. Calm, unhurried, already gone before he can say anything. Discipline doesn't turn you into a different person. It removes everything that was controlling the person you already were. Silence for a beat. So the question was never whether you have discipline. The question is, what level are you currently living at? Subscribe.